Backroad Trails presents Bloody Basin Road. This road begins north of Black Canyon City and heads southeast into Agua Fria National Monument. The wilderness is primarily semi-desert grassland with mesas, volcanic plateaus, and steep canyons. The road passes native ruins and descends to the Verde River, where it ends at Sheep Bridge. The river supports a riparian zone of cottonwoods and willows, which in turn supports diverse wildlife. Hello backroaders! I'm currently driving north on I-17 en route to Bloody Basin Road. According to Trails Off-Road, this road is rated as moderate, and they recommend a stock SUV with high clearance. I'm driving a 2006 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. This is Agua Fria National Monument, a wide, rugged stretch of central Arizona that encompasses two mesas and the canyon of the Agua Fria River. Thousands of years of human history remain etched into stone, scattered across open country that still feels largely untouched. Out here, the road doesn't just take you somewhere, it carries you through time. One of the primary routes into this region is Bloody Basin Road, a name that reflects the area's complicated past. In 1873, a violent conflict unfolded nearby when U.S. Army forces tracked a group of Apache Indians to Turret Peak. What followed was a night attack that ended with dozens of lives lost. Today, the land is quiet, but that history remains embedded in this place. The road also passes through remnants of Arizona's ranching era. Horseshoe Ranch was one of the largest cattle operations in the state. Cattle grazing still occurs here, but most of the land is now protected within the monument. The monument also contains some of the most significant prehistoric sites in the American Southwest. Stone pueblos rise quietly from the hillsides, built long before modern roads ever reached this terrain. These structures weren't meant to be monuments. They were homes, woven into the landscape rather than imposed on it. now going to take a detour to a place called La Plata. It's a Native American ruin. This is Pueblo La Plata, a native archaeological site made up of some 80 to 90 stone rooms. It is estimated that approximately 3,000 people lived in the village between BCE 1200 and 1450. The village was named after Silver Creek found below the canyon. Plata means silver in Spanish. From the site, it is easy to see that the location was strategically chosen for the elevated view. A massive stone-walled building, the village would have been an imposing sight for any traveler. Along the rim of the mesa, there are signs of terracing for agricultural fields and possible fortifications. Broken pottery around the village consists of local styles, including some from the Verde River Valley people. The land itself is just as alive as its history. Elevations here range from about 2,000 to about 4,000 feet, with peaks rising to almost 6,000 feet. Coyotes, bobcats, mule deer, pronghorn antelope, and javelina move through the monument. Songbirds fill the mornings, and eagles and other raptors circle overhead. This is not a landscape to rush through. Side trails branch off in every direction, leading to stone ruins tucked into hillsides and petroglyphs carved into cliffs and boulders. There are hundreds of these markings, ancient symbols that have survived because people chose to leave them undisturbed. Look closely, but take nothing. These stories belong to the land. It's nice to see that there are still some fall colors out here. We had a few days of rain a couple weeks back, and that means snow up north. So that's all melting, and as you can see, we're crossing some creeks that are still running. We're starting to get lower in elevation as we approach the Verde River. So we're starting to see more saguaros. It is a bit of a bumpy road. There aren't any obstacles, but there are a lot of rocks. So I did air down to 20 psi. And I am running the four-wheel drive, especially on the downhill. But a beautiful place. The desert doesn't care what you're driving, how built your rig is, or how skilled you think you are. It asks for one thing: respect. The saguaro understands that. You don't see it charging forward or trying to prove anything. It stands where it stands because it survived long enough to earn that spot. A saguaro can take 10 years just to grow its first inch, and decades before it ever grows an arm. That's not slow, that's patient. Around it, the Sonoran Desert spreads out in rock, heat, and hard lessons. Cholla waiting for mistakes, Palo Verde throwing just enough shade to matter. Nothing out here wastes energy. Nothing survives without adapting. The saguaro is built for the desert. Its skin expands when rain finally shows up and tightens down when drought returns. It stores what it needs, lets go of what it doesn't, and stays ready for the long haul. No complaining, no shortcuts, pure endurance. And that's something you start to understand when you take the back roads through places like this. Miles feel longer, time stretches, the noise drops away. You stop rushing because rushing doesn't work. The trail sets the pace. And if you don't listen, it'll remind you, usually the hard way. The saguaro isn't trying to impress anyone. It's not in a hurry. And it's still standing after a couple of 100 years of desert conditions. A lesson we can all benefit from. Strength doesn't always look aggressive. Progress doesn't always look fast. Sometimes it looks like showing up prepared, moving steadily, and respecting the terrain. The desert isn't empty, it's honest. And the saguaro isn't fragile, it's proven. Out here, you don't conquer the land, you learn to move through it and leave it standing like the saguaro. The original sheep bridge was built by the Flagstaff Sheep Company in the 1940s out of surplus materials from the area. The current bridge was built by the Forest Service in 1989 after the original bridge was weakened from years of use and flooding. The Verde River was a formidable obstacle, and it was not uncommon for sheep herders to lose a few sheep at each crossing. The river flows south from Sullivan Lake, north of Prescott, through the Verde Valley. Beyond the bridge, the Mazatl Mountains rise rugged and remote, an expansive wilderness shaped by steep canyons and high mountains. Sheep Ridge is a historic landmark that was entered into the National Register of Historic Places in 1978. the sun is slowly setting, so I'm going to go back to camp, set up a fire, and watch the stars come out. Standing here, it becomes clear that the Agua Fria National Monument is not defined by a single era. Prehistoric villages, frontier conflict, ranching history, and modern travelers all coexist in the same space. This land doesn't tell its story loudly. If you visit, let the land speak at its own pace. Well, that was Bloody Basin Road. I do believe the rating of moderate is accurate. Slightly easier perhaps, it's very subjective, but there aren't any specific obstacles. It's long and bumpy, with some water crossings which could be difficult in high water. Overall, excellent trail, beautiful saguaros, the ocotillo prickly pear, up to the junipers, and then to the Verde River. Well, that's the end of the Bloody Basin Road trip. Ended here at the Verde River. It was a chilly night, maybe 45, 50 degrees, but a beautiful sunrise. It's still very quiet, I haven't heard anybody. It is Tuesday morning. People are working. Saw some crow. The river's running nicely. Yeah, overall beautiful trip. Last walk on Sheep Bridge. The sun is now up, about 9 a.m. Ready to head back to Phoenix. Gonna take Bloody Basin Road back out and then Seven Springs down to Cave Creek area. That's one way to get out of here instead of going back to the I-17.